Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. It's about time now that we start looking towards SFO Grimhammer's newest patch, the Great Plan. Once again teaming up with Venris and the SFO team to showcase everything before release. Since the patch itself is known as the Great Plan, well, it only makes sense to cover the Lizardmen first. So in this video we're going to check out all the generic changes coming to the Lizardmen as a whole. This means all the changes that will affect every single different playable faction. And after which there will be videos dropping on each of the individual legendary lords with the changes that are unique to themselves and themselves alone. Now you guys have been waiting way too long for a Lizardmen update, so let's just jump right in. All Lizardmen legendary lords will benefit from a new currency known as alignment. Now, as you can see on screen, there are various different ways of gaining alignment, and some of it is actually tied specifically to individual legendary lords. This is not only for acquisition, but also in the use of said currency. This is not a currency that you can easily hoard, and it will take a while to start gaining it, but eventually you will start to see it more often. The ways of acquiring it will obviously vary, as you can see here. Crockguard and Tic-Tac-Toe acquire it mostly through battles, Tehanoin will acquire it through sacrifices, and Mazdamundi will acquire it through the use of Slan. And then what you use it for can also vary. Yes, blessed spawnings will be usable by everyone, but in regards to character skills, star readings, buildings, technologies, and so on, it all does vary on the specific legendary lord that you're using. We'll be going into much more detail regarding the specifics of alignments as we start looking towards each of the legendary lords. With that being said, there is a generic use of alignments for all the legendary lords, which is to boost up your blessed spawned units. This is very much the same way as unit upgrades, but only for your blessed spawnings, meaning that you won't be able to boost up any generic Saurus, Bastillodons, and so on. Each of the legendary lords will have their own special unit upgrades for these blessed spawnings. For example, as you can see on screen, Mazdamundi focuses around magic resistance in most cases. Everything which is added in for each of the individual lords will be thematic to their own specific lore and playstyle within the Great Plan patch. The Lizardmen have received a radical change when it comes to their technology tab. As you can see, it is completely different to how it used to be in vanilla, as now it is divided into its own specific subsections, and the prerequisite buildings are focused around the end of each branch rather than at the beginning. Now with this change, it should be much easier for the player to decide what type of bonuses they want to focus on, if they want to focus on skinks and reducing their upkeep and making them much stronger, or focusing around stuff of more administrative type of bonuses such as looting settlements or maybe even boosting up your own settlements. What you will notice is that each of the final texts of each respective branch will generate a new resource known as Old One's Favor. This is the only way you'll be able to actually get Old One's Favor, meaning that you will be able to get a decent amount per turn as you progress your way through each of the branches. The Favor resource itself is gained from technology and also used in other technology too. There is a max of 50 Old One's Favor that you can have at any given time, and that is used on a completely separate two branches which is focused around very powerful technology for the race. This is very much endgame tech, which will give a large variety of different style of bonuses. The actual price does vary as you progress your way down the branches, costing more and more Old One's Favor, meaning that you won't be able to get this too early on, barring possibly the first two as they only cost 5, but the intention here is to provide with loads of bonuses near the mid to late campaign, as all the other factions will have their own bonuses working against you. You need to level up and be balanced against them. Lizardmen Edicts have also been updated to be much more powerful, as the vanilla variant was, well, a little bit weak. Now you'll be able to get a large variety of bonuses, and some stuff is also for your whole faction, own armies faction-wide, or different other bonuses. The fact is now they are much more worth it, and there is more incentive to actually build up your geomantic web. There are some powerful bonuses, like for example cooldown reduction for all spells and all characters, and that can then be stacked up and gotten a lot stronger, especially as you start powering up the geomantic web itself, or even increasing the physical resistance of the Slann for all armies faction wide, meaning that you can have them as pure tanky characters if you so wish. It very much depends on the Slann too. You can see that the bonuses at alignment level 5 is just so much more stronger that you should be more incentivized to actually link up all your settlements. This is something that a lot of players don't tend to do because, well, in vanilla there was really no big benefit there. As a quick note, the one that gives you 30% plus research rate is incredibly useful, trust me on this. Lizardmen rights have also been quite upgraded. As you can see here with the Rite of Primeval Glory, not only will you be able to summon in your typical feral army, but you have a lot of bonuses towards your weapon strength for all of your beast units, making them much more useful in the battlefield, not only for the one that you've summoned in, but pretty much every army that you may have. The Rite of Ferocity is also quite different now, focusing on melee defense when in your own or friendly territory, research rate plus 50%, leadership plus 10 when in own or allied territory, and casualty replenishment plus 10% when in your own territories. This only lasts for 5 turns, but 50% research rate is incredibly useful, especially if you've already started using any other edicts which can increase research rate too. This is when you should go back and start thinking about the technology tab that we recently spoke about. The Slann have by far gotten the biggest change in terms of generic changes, as now you can see the cooldown is once every 40 turns. Trust me, there's a good reason for this. All spells that a Slann is able to learn can be found in one branch. Not only that, but they already start with the first spell available in their specific lore, completely unlocked and upgraded to its highest point. So that means that as you level up, you can focus on what spells you actually want, and you won't have to spend, say for example, 4 skill points to then move to another specific point of the spell lore. This means that if you want the endgame spells very early on, you are able to do so. This has been done because the Slann themselves are ancient and are one of the most powerful spellcasters in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, so it makes sense for them to have no prerequisites to learn the spells that they wish to use. Now let's take the time to look over the trait of a 5th generation Slann. Magic item drop chance plus 5% for all characters, miscast base chance minus 10%, speed plus 33%, charge bonus plus 10% for all characters, movement range in campaign by 25%, and vigor loss reduction minus 10% for Lord's army, with the ability of Bolt of the Old Ones, which is a spell that you can use and it does a decent amount of damage. Keep in mind that this is just for a 5th generation Slann, one of the weakest generations. And now let's take the time to look at the trait for a 2nd generation Slann. Miscast base chance minus 10% for own characters in a province, campaign movement range plus 5% for own armies faction wide, Winds of Magic power reserve plus 5 for own armies faction wide, Winds of Magic power reserve for the Slann himself plus 20, physical resistance plus 10% for Lord's army, ward save plus 10%, growth plus 10 for all provinces, horde growth plus 1 for own armies faction wide, this is obviously for Nakai the Wanderer, construction time minus 50% for all buildings in local province, and finally Bolt of the Old Ones. The Slann have had their power level increased quite a bit. The idea is to make them as powerful as they should be represented in lore, and all these bonuses do tend to do so, where even the younger generations are very powerful. These are the generic racial changes coming into effect for the Lizardmen in the Great Plan patch for SFO Grimhammer. We will be back soon enough with videos detailing all the changes to each of the respective legendary lords, as they have also received lots of changes which will give them different types of playstyle and will give you more reason to play as each of the different legendary lords too. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince and Okro for subscribing to us at our fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our king level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.